in the grants department. And so what I do is I help track reporting from federal, state grants, or whatever type of grants that it may be, but they're mainly state and federal grants. And I've been doing this job going on, in May it'll be a year, and now it is January. And when I tell you the time has flown by, it has really flown by. But prior to this, I was in human resources. My last position was an HR manager, and I had been, oh my God, in HR for I'll just say 15 plus years that I had been working in human resources. What else can I say? So HR, I really enjoyed that. I have my certification in human resources, which is my PHR. I never did go back after the split with HRCI and SHRM to get another designation, so I just kept it as that. And I was also in the midst of getting a certification from one of our local government associations before I did my transition to just a whole nother lifestyle. So I really starting over is pretty much what I've done. So I'm starting at the ground essentially in grants, where I was already at the top in HR manager. So I went from making close to 6 figures. I was pretty close. Close to 6 figures, and my salary was almost cut in half, pretty much cut in half. So it's definitely starting over. And within that time period, I had also bought a home. So in September of 2023, I'm sorry, September 2023, I had purchased a home. Sorry, just looking at this traffic. So in September 2023, I had purchased a home. So it's been 1 year since we've been in our home. And gosh, that time is flying. So that was another thing that I was waiting for. So people might ask, okay, why did you leave? Was it HR? So I was in HR. There was just a lot of changes going on. There was I feel like when you get to a certain level in your career, there become different challenges. So HR in itself is one of those career paths that can be stressful. So as an HR manager, I was overseeing our department. I believe at the time we had about six staff members, a team of 6. And so that was benefits and compensation, it was HRIS, it was recruitment, employment, it was employee relations, training, and everything in between. So the department was set up in a way where there wasn't a person for each unit, like there wasn't an overseer. So I think that probably was the main thing that I didn't necessarily like about the way the department was structured. But then also I work for local government, so there comes budget is really important in a lot of the decisions that are being made, because salaries are driven from the citizens, so the taxpayers is where the money comes from. So Anywho, long story short, I ended up resigning. That took me some time to get to that point. I also was trying to close on my house, which kind of drew it out some. I also had I say a procedure, not a surgery, but and I could talk about that as well. Talk about I had a leak procedure done and had a small C scare. I don't even like to say the word, but that was just my reality at the time. And it was one of those things where I felt like stress led to one of the factors that led to me being in that position. So it's like I'm so focused on the team, I'm so focused on the goals, I'm so focused on the job and the career, and that I kind of lost focus of me and the things that I needed to be doing. So taking herbs and making sure I'm internally okay, and I had lost focus of that and focus on so many other different things. And even when I had went to the doctors to ask them, not really ask them, well, I did ask them, like, what could have been some things, like, could I have been eating different? What could I have done to avoid the situation that I was in? And one of the main things, or really the main thing that they said, was stress. That stress was a driving factor. And so one of the biggest stressors in my life was my job. And maybe it's not the job in itself, maybe it's just how I handle it, but it had been a lot of changes. I'm talking about from top down within, things that had been going on that I didn't necessarily agree with, and it got to a point where I felt as if I had to make a choice, and I kind of felt like I was selling my soul. Am I just doing this for money now? And money is important, don't get me wrong, and I want that salary back, and I will get that plus more. But it was just like, why am I doing this? Like, it's not, I don't feel like I'm benefiting as much as I used to. So when I moved here, well, to Georgia from Pennsylvania, I had a goal in mind, and I wanted to work for local government, in which I was able to do that, or government in itself, when I ended up in local government. And I also wanted the title of HR generalist. Prior to that, I was working, my title was HR coordinator, HRIS data coordinator, or coordinator. And I had also been a benefits assistant. I had also been in administrative capacity in a recruiting agency, home health agency, at a child care facility. So there had been different, there was just a title that I really wanted, and not just the title, but I wanted to gain the experience and the knowledge that came along with that title. So and I was able to do that. But we'll continue heading into work now. Alright, I'm trying to think where I left off. Just had to make a run to the post office. So yeah, so now working in grants administration. Why did I leave? Some people might want to know why I left. I kind of touched on that somewhat. So my process was, I actually took a couple months off just to look for another job. So I looked for another job, but I really did not feel like I wanted to go back into an office setting. I just didn't want to deal with it. I just wanted to be home. I had just bought my house. I wanted to work from home, and so I did look into getting a work from home job, and I had a couple interviews. Nothing panned out. However, I did end up staying at my current job, but transferring to another department, or getting rehired, I would say, because I had took 2 months off before I went back. And so I say all that to say that was just a decision in itself. I was grateful that they reached out to me. So we had already established like a good working relationship. So I had pretty much good working relationships with a lot of the departments. But I think the main thing for me was like, how am I supposed to do this when I just bought a house? My salary is, it's not cut in half, but it feels like it sometimes. So I mean, just had to do I just wasn't sure if it was going to work out. So that's why I was really like, let me just try to find another opportunity, with not as much responsibility. I knew I had to do less responsibility, so it could be less stressful. And then I thought working from home, like, we can't get any less stressful than that. Like, I don't have little kids running around. My kids are at school. Even if they're home, they're older, they can pretty much do for themselves. So I'm trying to think other than that. So that has been my process, transitioning from HR, kind of just starting over, in a sense, just really starting over. And I would say that overall it has been good. You know, it has been good. So one of the benefits of being able to stay at my current job is that, of course, the benefits that I already have, the actual benefits like my health care and things of that nature, but also being able to have my retirement as well. So looking at it from those different avenues and options to choose from, wasn't sure how I was gonna make it, but what I did realize is that we order a lot from Amazon. We was using Uber Eats a lot, definitely, or DoorDash or what have you, definitely eating out a lot. So it's just some things we had to, you know, cut back on, take advantage of certain things like I had accumulated as far as travel. If you wanted to do, you know, accumulated those points, so I'm able to travel to different areas. But long story short is that pretty much it has been working out. It has really been working out, so I can't complain. So I think that's pretty much it. You know, why I did it, why didn't I stay in HR, why did I completely start over? Because I stayed at my current place of employment, and with my background there was no other HR job to go to, so I just kind of had to figure out what was best for us. Another thing I did want to mention is that the location. So I'm even closer to my home because I'm in a different location, so not in the same building. So I'm really close to where I live. I'm trying to get out of here. And that was one of the things that was important to me when looking for a job. I remember when I was first starting out, and I was driving like an hour away to work, and I was younger. It was mostly highway driving, but all in all, I mean, I did that for I think about 8 years or so, And then even I had both of my sons at that job actually, but after I had my second son, I left after like a month after I came back, and I was like, this is not this is not for me. And it was kind of another situation where it's just not what I came into. Like when you go to a job, you looking for certain things, and those things that that I was looking for, I felt was good for me, it was changing. So it was more plus than minuses for me to leave. And then I got the opportunity to stay home, which I wanted to do with my first son, and I didn't get to do that with him. So with my second son, I was able to do that and stay home. And that's just a whole nother topic, I can talk about as well. But yeah, so if you're looking to do a transition, I would definitely say pray about it. That is, I prayed about it and I waited and I prayed and I waited. And sometimes you might have to fast because you can't hear what's being told to you. And I did that, and then I just finally heard, it's your turn, it's your go. And I didn't even know what that meant. I'm like, I just need a yes or a no or a where to go. I just wanted to hear it so clearly. But things have been happening where people would just come out the blue and say, hey, what's going on with such and such? You should really take that position, and we're not even on that topic or talking about it, and it's just coming up. So things like that was occurring, and I guess in the end it all worked out how it was supposed to. There's some more details within it with how I left or how I was treated when I left that was just, I feel like, not called for. But there's always avenues to pursue and things that you can do when you feel as though you're not treated fairly. And to be in HR and to have those things happen was a little odd. But anywho, so now I'm still close to home, a little bit closer than I was before. What else? I'm doing a whole nother area of work, industry and area, so that's different. What else can I say? It's been, like I said, I started in May, so it's January now, so coming on May it'll be a year. And it's been going good. So just learning as much as I can, and hopefully be able to use these skills as I grow, and also looking into different avenues of income and things of that nature that I can have. So some of the other things, you have those things that you do on the side or other interests that you have, so giving me time to do those things as well. So I think that's it for me for today. So this is definitely a first, and hope you guys come back to hear more. And if there's other things that you want me to talk about, definitely let me know. I know a couple things came up in this video, HR in general, the transition, I said the LEAP surgery, and things of that nature. So all right, be blessed, be blessed.